Hello. So for this week, we are going to do a learning to sew, and we are going to learn to sew a pencil case. This is not my first pencil case. This is actually my third pencil case that I have sewn. I wanted to use scrap fabric for my first two to kind of work out some of my learning curves, and I actually bought fabric for this one, and I am super excited, and hopefully it looks super cute. So, for this third pencil case, when I was shopping for fabric, the sweet lady at the fabric store helped me pick out this absolutely beautiful orangey blue fabric. And I really like the oranges in it. I like the different blue tones. I love the flower pattern. And it was on sale. Call that a win. While I was perusing for more fabric, I also found this really pretty orange fabric with the different light and dark oranges that I think would go very well for the inside of the pencil case. I think that would go really well. And then of course, I need a zipper, and I thought, how fun would it be to have a kind of blue zipper that matches the blue in this fabric. So that is the fabric that we're going to use for this pencil case. So for my first two pencil cases that I made, I messed up a lot. I had to rip out quite a few stitches as I was working through some of the learning curves. I realized that I really struggled with my measurements, making sure my measurements are precise and stayed precise during the sewing process, because as I was sewing, things were not as straight or as precise as they once were, and you can definitely tell because this is like my first one and it looks fine, but if you look closer on it, you can tell that like the sides are not even, and like some of the insides are like poking out right there. So that's definitely something I want to work on. For the second pencil case that I did, I got a little cocky and I definitely messed up more because of that. Lesson learned, you know nothing. Like, first of all, it's coming apart right there. I started out with a stretchy fabric on the inside, but I learned with the stretchy fabric that you cannot repeatedly rip out the stitches because you'll mess up the fabric. I had to switch to a different fabric on the inside and ended up having to completely rip everything apart and put it back together again. And that messed up the measurements even more. And this one, you can also tell it's a little uneven on the sides, and some of the insides are poking out as well. So they're not perfect. However, we did learn a lot. So I think we can take that and apply that to the new pencil case. The pattern that I used, I found off of Pinterest. It was a reposted TikTok of this girl showing you how she makes her pencil cases. I'm going to follow what she did. I will put it right here, but also kind of tweak it just a little bit. For example, she pulled the zipper all the way off, and with this one, I cannot do that because it's got this little metal bit there that is preventing me from completely taking the zipper off. So I am gonna have to work around that. My goal for this project is to keep my measurements precise at the beginning and throughout the sewing process. I notice that I tend to mess up, especially when I'm ripping out stitches. I get a little frustrated and a little impatient, so I want to work on that. I want to try to keep my edges and my stitches as straight as I possibly can. And I think to do that, I really just need to slow down and try to take my time as much as I can. And I also want to try to not rip as many stitches out, maybe once or twice if I can help it, not like 10 times like I did before. My plan for this project is step number 1. I need a new pattern because this pattern is gross. It's like got water stains on it. I'm pretty sure it's got hot glue on it from another project. So I think we're just gonna start fresh and make a new pattern. Next, I'm going to iron and then cut out my pieces as precise as I can. To help me, I'm gonna switch from the pins to the clips. These make me mad, and I struggle with them, and I just don't like them. So I'm gonna try this. I see a lot of the sewing girls using the clips, so I'm gonna try them, and if I like it, I'm gonna get more of them. And then the last step of my plan, obviously, is to sew it all together. Now that we have our goals and our plan, it is time to begin. I am very excited and nervous, so let's go. So starting off, I ironed everything flat before I began to cut out my pattern. For my pattern, I cut out a 24 centimeter by 12 centimeter rectangle. Following that pattern, I cut out 4 total rectangles, 2 from each fabric. Then pinning right sides together, sandwiching that zipper in between them, I'm gonna sew a straight line across. I'm now just sewing that zipper in between both of those fabrics, sandwiching it together. Then attempting to do the same thing on the other side. And fighting for my life against that zipper. This line was super straight. I was super proud of that. Too bad I couldn't keep it. As I'm unpinning this, I'm seeing how it would zip together.
Good job.
And I did it wrong. I done did it wrong. So this is how it's supposed to look. This is how it's looking. I messed it up. Now we're gonna try that again. With that corrected, I'm going to sew like sides together. I'm going to leave a small gap on the inner fabric just so I can turn it inside out later. With both of the sides now sewn together, I'm gonna fold it hot dog style and pinch the little butts closed. Now that the butts are closed, I'm gonna flip it right side out. However, I was really struggling with that zipper to get it open from the back side to finish flipping it right side out. But I eventually got it. a 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter square pattern, I'm beginning to mark out my edges on all 4 sides, front and back. Then pinching that corner together, I'm going to sew along that connecting blue line that I drew. After cutting the little excess bits, I'm going to flip the project inside out again. Now, she did not do this in her tutorial, she just sewed straight across, but she has a lot more skills than me. So what I did was measured 1 inch below that seam line and followed that line that I drew. Lastly, I'm just sewing up that middle gap area that we left open on the inner fabric. With some last little snips, we are done. Hello, I finished the pencil case, and I don't think it's that bad. I actually think that I did a relatively good job. Most of my sides are pretty even. I really try to take my time with the measurements. There is definitely some things wrong with it, obviously. The middle section here isn't the most straight. I think it was because I was fighting with the zipper a lot, but overall that's not too bad. The corner edges, this one's like perfect. Like this side is perfect. I'm super happy with that side. This one's got a little bit of the insides poking out. So does the other side of it. It has just like a bit of the inside sticking out. However, I do believe that all 4 sides are pretty even despite that. So I'm pretty happy with that. Overall, I am super happy with how she turned out. It's not perfect, but I think I did a great job. I learned a lot still doing this the 3rd time. The biggest thing that I learned was lining up my needle better and more accurately, which is something that I was messing up on before, which I didn't even realize that I was messing up on until now. But now I know. I also think if I'm going to make another pencil case, I want to get a zipper that can be completely removed, because fighting around that big metal piece, I think messed up my measurements a little bit more than I wanted it to. I do think I did a pretty good job at hitting all of my goals for this project, minus ripping out my seams. I did rip out my seams multiple times. You know, it happens. I learned a lot, and I'm getting better, and I'm super happy with how it turned out though. But that's pretty much it. I learned to make a pencil case, and I'm pretty happy and very proud, and I think I will be making a lot more stuff. I'm super excited. Thanks for making it to the end if you did. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Don't put that in there. Don't put that in there. Edit it out. Edit it out.
All right, you're done.